The actual final financial plan will be at the May 31st Four Lakes Task Force Board meeting. Where we'll meet again either to approve the issuance of these notes if a Michigan grant is not approved by then, or is approved by then, but the funds aren't yet available, so we can bridge from what we're doing now to then. Or if we determine that we have Michigan funds and they will be available and we don't have to bridge, then we will determine not to issue. And if it's somewhere in between, we'll figure that out too at the board meeting. But the final plan will be basically established and approved at the March 31st board meeting. And so, and this plan that we're reviewing in the board meeting following was reviewed in the first phase in the last. Restoration. In May, we put a restoration plan together. It had $250 million planning estimate, of which we needed $10 million to complete the 22 work to get to full financing of the dams, and $248 million was to fund the remaining projects through restoration. That's the plan we're talking about now with institutionalizing. The state of Michigan Senate has Senate Bill 565 has allocated $250 million in funding. That's been taken up at the House. The House and Senate are meeting on the bill, and we wanted to provide a status, and I thought the best way to do that was Senator Stamets said he would come in and give a brief update. So we're going to try a sound check here because it's not connected exactly. So, but we'll put him on the screen and let him do that. So, Senator Stamets, welcome to the meeting, Jim. Let's make sure we get you connected first. This is always the embarrassing part. Okay, can we hear you, Jim?
I don't know, I can hear you.
Okay, good. Are we hearing okay there? Or? Okay, good.
Yep.
So how are we doing, Jim?
So, I appreciate the opportunity. We are, as you have said, the Senate back in November passed Senate Bill 565 over to the House. We've worked on a couple other supplementals between now and then, but this is the supplemental and the only current supplemental being discussed at the current time by not only the Senate and the House, but also the governor's office with the state budget is included. And so it's a substantial package as passed by the Senate. It was $3.3 billion. I would expect that will be reduced. I think the key point for this evening is, as you had mentioned again, and it's what the Senate had put in was based off the task force recommendation of $250 million. I'll be frank, typically the state on almost any project does not 100% fund something, so I don't want to set that expectation, but it is my job and my commitment to maximize every penny that we possibly can. If we sort of review real quick, so far, with Representative Glenn, Representative Howard, Speaker Whitworth, and Governor Whitmer, we have now appropriated $22.5 million that the task force has been working in preparation and restoration. And so it is my understanding that that's nearly complete, exhausted in the funds that are available for that. So I understand and working in a timely manner to hopefully accomplish this supplemental sooner than later. This week we have had multiple conversations and we'll be in discussion again tomorrow morning, moving forward and trying to reach an agreement on it. So I feel strong that we are going to see something soon, but I don't know where. I don't know that I can say exactly where we're at, but so far I appreciate the conversations both from the governor and the state budget office along with the House And not only this, but helping with our water issues across the state, whether it's PFAS and or lead lines, in addition to wastewater management and other areas. So this is a significant conversation, but so far we're all doing well on that part of it. Let's see. I did want to definitely give out a shout out to the task, the 4 Lakes Task Force itself, with the amount of work and all of those that are involved with it, in making the progress that we have at the moment. So, not sure if you have any other questions, but happy to answer them for you.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Jim. First of all, I do want to thank, we did a lot with your leadership. Obviously, the other representatives with Hawk and Annette Glenn and, the 20, initially the $5 million before the failure and 17.5 after. We're working on that. We made this progress. We're going to report to the board today. I think it's encouraging that we have numbers in the House and they've set an expectation here in the Senate. And you're working with the governor, and I know there's been a lot of discussion with folks with the governor, and so it's good to hear you're working on it. We have a meeting on the board on the 31st of March as well, so I'm hoping we have a plan between now and then. Does that seem reasonable?
I'm certainly shooting for an answer long before that. So. Okay,
good. I didn't put you on Monday or Tuesday, Jim. I just thought I'd give you So
I appreciate it.
We'll look for that. Okay, that sounds good. We appreciate all you're doing, and I know it's a lot of hard work, and this is probably, I don't know if it's the biggest, but it's probably the top 3 or 4, I would think, in the state's history of one project, if being asking for this size of investment. So I guess we have to sweat on it, so.
Yeah. So,
good.
But I will continue to maximize every opportunity and dollars that we can for it. Again, Rep. Glenn and Houck and the Speaker Wentworth have been very supportive as well. And I want to make sure to give them a shout out and thank you as well. But I appreciate all you guys are doing.
Okay. Well, thanks, Jim, and I'll tell the guys not to write a lot of letters yet because I know you're working on it. And we'll just stay in close. And I just really appreciate all the hard work you guys are doing, especially your leadership. So thank you very much.
Thank you. I hope everybody has a great evening, and again, I apologize. I'm still sitting at the desk in Lansing, so. No,
that's where we want you, Jim. So, thank you. Good deal. Thank you very much.
Yes.
So I think as we frame the program here, we're trying to set up a program where we understand the state funding. The state funding we have today is starting to expire. As Jim pointed out, we have about $6 million left. You'll see in the projects we're spending that very fast. And so we're expecting to see the funding, a funding grant put together. We need it to be a pretty large one, they understand that. And we'll have a better view of that in the month of March, as you've heard from Jim. So we want to make sure we have a plan B with an interim, what we call a grant anticipation note. So if that, let's say we get the state funding and but it takes a month to get the Treasury to work it or whatever, we have the time frame to work on that. So we might abandon that halfway through the month, or we might have to go all the way through and use it just to make sure we can bridge and not stop the funding. So that's kind of one of the discussions today. So we wanted to go through first, there's a IRS requirement of when a nonprofit seeks funding, and that's an IRS requirement under the Tax Equity and Fiscal Responsibility Act. And our lawyer, Joe Claney from Clark Hill, will read those into the minutes.
So at this point, Dave, you would want to open the for a public hearing, and then I'll begin the public hearing. So you go.
We opened it for.
Did you open it already? Okay.
I thought we did, Joe.
All right,
We
very
opened
good.
for public third in April.
Well then, here we go. So if you give me a few minutes here to read into the record the purpose of the meeting, and then we will take public comment. This is a public hearing relating to the plan of financing for the Four Lakes Special Assessment District, counties of Midland and Gladwin, Michigan, the district, consisting of the issuance of one or more series of grant and/or bond anticipation notes, to be issued by the district in the aggregate principal amount of not to exceed $10 million, to provide interim financing for part of the cost to establish and maintain the normal levels for Wixom Lake, located in Midland and Gladwin counties, Sanford Lake, located in Midland County, Smallwood Lake, located in Gladwin County, and Secord Lake, located in Gladwin County. Collectively, this is referred to as the project. And two, in anticipation of A, the receipt of grants from the United States, the state of Michigan, or any agency thereof, the grants. B, from one or more series of loans from the United States, state of Michigan, or agency thereof, or loans, or bonds to be issued by the district. Or C, combination of grants, loans, and bonds in the aggregate principal amount not to exceed $240 million to provide funds and or long-term financing for the cost of the project. The purpose of this public hearing is to provide the public with the opportunity to comment on the efforts of the Four Lakes Task Force to approve the plan of financing. The Four Lakes Task Force is a Michigan nonprofit corporation and an organization described in Section 501c3 of the Internal Revenue Code of 1986 and appointed by the counties of Midland and Gladwin as the delegated authority to perform the duties of the county with respect to the project under Part 307 of the Michigan Natural Resources and Environmental Protection Act, Act 451, Public Acts of 1994 as amended, or what we refer to as Part 307. The board of the delegated authority has authorized and directed the president and chairperson of the board of the delegated authority to conduct a public hearing with respect to the plan of financing and issuance of notes and bonds for the project as required by Section 147, subsection F of the Internal Revenue Code of 1986, after giving proper notice as required in Section 147 F, and to make record of such hearing and forward a copy of the hearing record to the Board of Commissioners for each of the counties of Midland and Gladwin. A notice of public hearing was posted electronically on the primary public website of the County of Midland and on the County of Gladwin on February 22nd, 2022, and on the primary public website of the County of Gladwin on February 22nd, 2022, and on the public website of the Delegated Authority on February 22nd, 2022. In that posting, the Delegated Authority advertised that it would be holding a public hearing on today's date at 5 p.m. or thereafter at the Grace A. Dow Memorial Library, located at 1710 West Street, Andrews Road, Michigan, Midland, Michigan, on March 3rd, 2022. The Delegated Authority will be the initial principal user and operator of the project. The notes will be issued pursuant to Act 34, Public Acts of 2001 as amended, and will be secured by and payable from proceeds of grants, loans, bonds, or a combination thereof. The loans or bonds, if necessary, will be issued pursuant to Part 307 and will be secured and payable from the collection of special assessments against properties in the district. In addition, as secondary security, the district intends to request each of the counties to pledge their full faith and credit as additional security for the payment of the principal of and interest on the notes and on the loans and bonds. If each of the county adopts a resolution approving such full faith and credit pledge, in the event and only to the extent that the collection of special assessments pledged for the payment of the loans and bonds are not sufficient to pay the principal of and interest on the bonds as they come due, each of the counties will be obligated to pay as a first budget obligation from taxes or general funds an amount sufficient to make such payment to the extent the special assessments assessed against the property in such county. Each of the county's ability to levy taxes to make such payment, however, is subject to constitutional and statutory limitations on the taxing powers of each of the counties. The Board of the Delegated Authority, through this public hearing, is provided the opportunity for interested persons to be heard and received and considered in communications in writing and orally in reference to this hearing. A record of this hearing will be forwarded to the Board of Commissioners of each of the counties to consider approval of the plan of financing in accordance with Section 147F of the Internal Revenue Code, only after receiving the record of this hearing from the Board of the Delegated Authority. At this time, we welcome comments from the public. We've received written comments which we will attach to the transcript that will be forwarded to each of the counties. So if you've submitted a written response, there is no need to step up, but you're certainly welcome to come up and again speak into the microphone, but we will include all your comments as part of the transcript for this meeting. Again, this meeting is more of a requirement because of the 4 Lakes Task Force's nature as a 501c nonprofit corporation. The Tax Equity and Responsibility Act requires that we hold this hearing because of the nature of our organization, and that if we end up issuing the bonds, we have to have this hearing. So, other than that, I have nothing further.
Okay, thank you, Joe. I just want to kind of repeat where we are. Just go back. Oh yeah, just to kind of restate the purpose and then the comment period. We are looking for a approval by the board of a financial plan that may include the issue of this anticipation note or bond that we're looking for in terms of a grant from the state of Michigan. The current plan was that this Michigan funding would have been here by now. That was explained as we got to a point that it hadn't been resolved yet. The Finance Committee and the Governance Committee met and recommended we kind of follow this process to have and you'll see in the board meeting the amount of effort underway that we don't delay that because we've had an administrative issue with the board. So this is to approve a financial plan that may include a grant. Otherwise, we wouldn't be having this hearing. We already had a state grant that would potentially be used if the state funding was not available by the end of the month. So what we said is that we're going to go through this hearing for a plan, and then we'll come back on the 31st after we review the plan with the 2 counties and got their approval for both the plan and their full faith and credit. Then the board will come back on the 31st and we'll have a review, knowing hopefully where we are with the state financing to come up with a final plan. So that's the purpose of the meeting today, and we're going to open it up for public comment. Oh, we have to vote first, I'm sorry. So that's the plan and the purpose.
No vote, you just have your comment.
Oh, I thought we had to vote.
No, you take public comments.
Come on, Caleb, be more. Okay, so we don't have to vote, okay?
Not yet.
Not yet, okay. So public comment then? Okay. So anybody, first of all, on the website, those that are attending virtually, if you raise your hand, we will call on you. And if those that really don't want to talk orally, want to just send a comment in, just send it to info@4lakestaskforce.org via email, and that'll be recorded in the minutes. Those that want to talk orally in this room may come up to the microphone. They have 2 minutes to make a comment. This is a comment period, not a question and answer period, so the board will listen, but they're not going to respond. And then obviously we want to manage the hearing with respect, so we expect that from our board and we expect it from the audience. So with that, if anybody wants to come and make a statement or comment on this financial plan, they may, or if we have one online, okay.
Checking the mic. And we'd like to ask participants to state their name, address, and lake, please.
Yes, when you come up here, what name, address, or just city.
Good evening. Thank you for holding this meeting. My name is Kelly Bax. I live in Coleman, Michigan. I have property on the Tobacco River. I first want to state that this meeting is not legally being held within the time constraints. It was not posted till the 24th in Gladwin, And then it was changed at last minute to a TEFRA meeting, and a TEFRA meeting has to be posted for a minimum of 7 days. You only posted it as a TEFRA for 4 days. So that means there's a lot of people that are unable to attend this meeting, that are not gonna be able to be heard because they're out of state right now, or they didn't get notification. With that being said, I am opposed. I absolutely protest to any bond being made right now. The state deserves to pay their portion of what's gone on. If we lock us into a bond, nobody's gonna bail us out. We're gonna make our own cage. We're gonna get ourselves backed into a corner yet again. We still don't have the methodology procedure completed. We don't have all the engineering studies done. We are always putting the cart before the horse. It's time that we slow this roll and we do things appropriately and by the law. With that being said, I don't want my property put on a bond. That's forever. The county commissioners will never be able to ever vote no whatsoever, because they're gonna be locked in if they ever say yes to a bond. With the way that inflation is going right now, things are only ever gonna get bigger, more expensive. If you, for some reason, were to break the dam again or have a flood, they're not gonna hold it against you guys in the 4 Lakes Task Force or in the county, because you've all indemnified yourselves. You're gonna put that cost on all of the people and the properties. The SAD dissolved, the original SAD dissolved when that dam breached and everybody walked away, and the deal, the original deal did not go down. You're talking about a whole different thing. This is all new build. You went from 30 million to 300 million. And now that you put the at-large on this, just goes to prove that when you went to court to get the original SAD back in 2019, you didn't take into account all of the people in the area that will benefit from the monies it has generated from those lakes and dams. So it should have never been that sad at all. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Kelly. Any other public comments?
Hello, Michael Adams here. I live on Wixom Lake on the Payne Creek Drain. And I was very happy to see that email come out that you're having this meeting, stating that the first item on your list was grants from the federal state governments, which I think is the only way that this thing should be financed. Years ago, when there was talk of thousands of dollars going on our tax every year, made me not be able to sleep at night when I wake up in the middle of the night because I'm on Social Security. On your first survey, I was 5.8% from the bottom of the income list. And I thought, sweet Jesus, finally got my retirement home on the water, and now I'm worried I might lose it, you know. I'm getting emotional. But I want to say thank you for pursuing grants first. And I think that'd be the only way to do it for a public lake, to be financially subsidized, because you do have to do maintenance, repairs, administrative costs, etc. Has to be done every year, and this costs a lot of money, I know. So please try to focus extremely hard on federal state grants, annually reoccurring grants. Thank you.
No, he's talking about grants, not bonds.
First off, I want to thank Midland, Gladden counties for having the 4 Lakes Task Force appointed as agent in this matter. My name is Terrence Hall. I'm the supervisor for Edenville Township in Midland County. And on behalf of the board, I'd like to communicate this letter in regards to the pursuit of interim financing as needed in anticipation of state funding. Edenville Township submits this letter in support of 4 Lakes Task Force efforts to secure interim financing and funding. As lawmaking and bureaucratic hurdles are being overcome, there still remains a lag between the receipt of monies from the special assessment and the need to make forward progress on the restoration of the dammed bottomlands and the livelihood of the township and her citizens. The township believes that enabling 4 Lakes Task Force to pursue and secure financing is an integral part of enabling them to fulfill their mission. There is a need for interim financing. We celebrate 4 Lakes Task Force forward and proactive approach to completing the restoration of the dams. Without money, nothing is accomplished. humbly submitted at the request of Edenville Township Board. And if I may approach, I can deliver this written communication.
Thank you, James. Okay, we do have 2 comments online. I'm gonna have to stick this over there.
Okay, Carl Garbat, you are unmuted on my end, but it looks like you're self-muted. Carl, if you wanna try to unmute to make your comment. Yep, that's it.
To get back down, we'll go. Any other comments?
Hello, my name's Tony Bax, and I have a place on the Tobacco River. From my understanding, what this is interim financing, which to me means you're taking a loan on future money that you expect to get. At this point, we are not getting any state money right now. It's supposed to be coming in, but we don't have that yet. We don't have the methodology done for the special assessment district, and we don't have a vote yet for the at-large. So how is a county, if this doesn't happen, how is a county going to pay that money back? If you have a $10 million loan, doesn't that kind of be a conflict of interest when you guys are voting on the special assessment district methodology? That's all I have.
Thank you.
Hello there. My name is Andre Shevchik. I'm in the Tittabawassee River, actually the Molasses River feeding into Wixom Lake. I really like Tony's comment about I think we're putting the cart before the horse here. We really don't have a methodology for the assessment. You know, we don't even know. I mean, the legal lake level, we don't have a legal lake. Where's the level to be maintained? That's the whole premise of the original SAD, was legal lake level. There is no lake to maintain. There's no SAD. This needs to go back to court and let's figure this out right from the beginning. You know, I think there's a disconnect here. And I really think the commissioners are making a mistake by approving this and signing up for this program at this stage. I really do believe we should be putting the brakes on this until we have the special assessments finalized. We need to know what we're signing up for first, and where does it end? That's the other part. You know, this $250 million that we get from state of Michigan. What if the project costs $500 million? Is there any guarantee that we're going to stay within any budget? There's no disclosure. I have another question also with regards to, the flow of information or giving us the information where the money's being spent. You know, so far we've been told that this money is grant money, is donations. We don't need to disclose how the money is spent. It's not SAD money. If that's the case, then, we.
2 minutes.
Thank you.
There's no sad, no sad.
Hi, I'm Jackie Moeller and I live out in Midland Township. And one of the things that people are asking this question is, with these loans and with these grants, do they have to be paid back by the people? And if so, we've also been told that money that goes into the county from all the townships will have to pay for this. If that is true, I live 7 miles closer to the Saginaw borderline. If my water is draining into that river, because water flows downhill, then don't we have to assess Freeland, Saginaw, Shields all the way down? Because the only thing that Midland Township gets from these dams is flooded every time they decide to mess around with them and open them up.
But it's not.
And we have a Venture Drive out off of Poseyville Road that brings a lot of money into our township. And I know for a fact, because I've talked to the owner, if they flood again, they will not rebuild Venture Drive. We will lose a lot of money in that township. So therefore, I think that someone on this board, and I hope Mr. Kepler, you're the one, because you're the name we always hear, is the one who will step forward and tell everybody, do these loans and grants have to be paid back, or are they a gift? Thank you very much.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Ken Wells? Ken Wells, I unmuted you on my end. If you could unmute yourself. Ken, there should be a little red microphone on your screen. If you click that, you should be able to unmute yourself. We can try the next one. Bill Bechamp.
Bullshit.
You're unmuted on my end, if you can unmute yourself.
Hello?
Yeah, we got you, Bill.
Bill, are you there? Bill, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I really don't have a comment. I just wanted to say that I've been online for the last 5 to 7 minutes. Haven't been able to hear a thing. I see your cursor moving on my screen, and I see you setting the clock, but we can't hear anything. I don't know if that's just me or anybody else, but it's just nothing's happening.
Okay, we'll check that in the background. Thank you.
You betcha.
Any other comments in the audience?
Whoops, sorry.
Oh.
Hi, my name's Karen LaQuay. Me and my husband Jerry have a place on Smallwood Lake. Do I have to say the address? 380 Laurel Drive. Here to say that I do not agree with any of this. When I bought my place 30 years ago, it's been that way with water. And at this point, we are on retirement, both of us. I'm not able to afford what I've seen coming at all the meetings. Even with the state, now they're saying that they're going to have operation cost of what? What dam is running? What is it running for? I don't understand any of you people, and I've written everybody, all the states, representatives, everybody. And you seem to want to put it all on us. I didn't make this mess, and I don't feel I need to clean it up. Thank you. I'm against the SAD altogether.
Good job.
We can try Ken Wells again.
Okay.
We have Ken Wells, you're unmuted on our end. Do you want to try to unmute yourself?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, my name's Ken Wells. I have a place on Secord, and I've been coming up here with my family for over 50 years. I feel we're very lucky in these kind of times to have the opportunity to secure funding and to help our community recover. Our 4 lakes are not alone. There are dozens of lakes in the state that either have current SADs or are setting them up. SADs intended to keep their lakes operating and safe for everybody. I fully support the financial effort moving forward to return our lakes in any way that we can do it as quickly as possible. And I think it benefits everybody. That's it.
I have one more online. Sandra, I'm gonna try and unmute you on my end. Sandra, it says you're self-muted, if you could try and unmute yourself. Okay. We have one more, from a Robin Richards. Robin, I'll try and unmute you. Okay, it says you're self-muted, if you want to try and unmute yourself. It looks like you're unmuted, Robin, if you want to make your comment. Apologize if you're trying to speak, we cannot hear you.
My name's Hugh Woodrow, Hay Township. I'm on a river just below the Smallwood Dam. I bought in 1986 to be on a river or near a river, which I am just near a river. I have 60 feet of wooded property that belongs to the people who own the dam, and my SAD is configured to be the same cost as somebody who lives on the lakes. I'm on a river. I bought to be on a river. I am on a river. I have a nice river. It's quiet. I just thought that what happens in the future if either one of the commissioner groups decide that they don't want to pay the bond, what happens there? You know, that's just a what if. Does that go on the sad people to make up that money? And of course, the commissioners will approve that. That's all I got to say. I am on a river. I love it.
Thank you.
Okay, with seeing no public comment, for those online, if we were challenged with you, you can send a comment to info@forlakestaskforce.org. At this point in time, we're going to close the public comment section. And then we're going to call a roll call vote on the financing plan. And to remind people, this is looking at the total financing between, that we'll be looking at and approving some plan. The one that Caleb will show at the board meeting is a current plan that assumes state funding is there. This plan includes the access of other sources like USDA grants, Michigan grants, public donations, as well in the financial plan. We'll talk about that at the board meeting. We'll review it at the county meetings. And so this is a roll call, and then we'll review it again in March based on whether the state funding is there, and we'll go from there. So with that, pardon? Oh yeah, I mentioned that Karen Mark won't be in the roll call. Karen Moore and Mark Bone will not be in the roll call because they'll be reviewing the plan and approving it, or reviewing it and determining to approve it at their board meetings. So with that, go ahead and do the roll call.
Just for the record, you're adopting, or you're proposing the resolution declaring official intent and approval of the plan of financing, correct?
Right. So say that again, Joe.
What you're being asked to is in your folders. It's the resolution declaring official intent and approval of the plan of financing. What this resolution does is, most important aspect is now therefore be it resolved. This isn't approving any bonds. This is not approving the issuance of the bonds. It's approving the plan of financing, which is a requirement under the IRS rules. Also declaring your official intent to reimburse expenses that are incurred prior to the issuance of permanent financing, which is another IRS rule. These are IRS requirements, and this is what this is entailed and embodies this resolution.
Thank you, Joe. The roll call vote.
Dave Kepler,
Yes.
Adam Beebe,
Yes.
Dave Rothman,
Yes.
Don Zacket,
Yes.
Mark Mutch,
Yes.
Chuck Sikora,
Yes.
Phil Dast.
Yes.
7 yeses, 0 noes.
Okay. The resolution passes. And with that, then we have a motion to adjourn.
You can just close the public hearing.
Okay, pardon?
Just close the public.
Or we just close the public hearing?
We can go to
Okay.
business meeting.
Okay, we got that one done. Now we'll go to the next one with a different set of rules. Okay, so